Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Guess the WN8 when I viewers submit games and I have to guess their stats based on nothing but their gameplay. This is a paid replay. You can find out more about how to submit and guarantee that your replay is used by looking in the description. Here we have a T92. Now the T92 is a legend I have played a bit in. I've actually got a game where I did 5,500 damage in this vehicle on mines, I believe, in a tier 9 or 10 game. I can't quite remember, but it was good fun regardless. So I have a moderate amount of knowledge on this tank. Looks like we're going over to the left side. Now, we should be aware here that the likelihood is that we actually represent the best view range in the entire game. With the only competing tanks being like the Contradictorious, I'm not sure about the view range of, but the T92, unlike things like the even 90 or LT432 up tier, has 400 meters of base view range, and while that isn't the best at the tier, it's not competing with stuff like the Hawk 12 or Hawk 30, it is pretty damn good for what this tank represents, as is this position. It's decent for finding a cross or finding some early light tank play, and it represents dangerous vision into this area as well, so it's a good position to take at the start. Now, speaking of 5,500 damage, if you're doing that, chances are you're going to be dipping into the heat shells at some point, because the standard APCR shells have 189 millimeters of pen. Takes a chance to move up here now that the 25 have fallen back. Stewarded gameplay. Yeah, the APCR shells, shell travel time around 1,219, I believe, have 1,000. I'm repeating myself. They have 189 millimeters of pen, which is not great. The heat shells go up to 230, which is decent. I mean, you can work with it on a tier 8 light tank, right? Especially for shooting at distance. However, they are, for the damage that they deal, potentially the most expensive shells in the entire game. I am not sure about the actual math, but they gotta be up there. For 150 damage and 230 pen, I believe you have to pay 5,600 credits per shell. To put that in perspective, a premium Scorpion shell does 490 damage, has 311 millimeters of pen, and costs less by, I think, 400 credits. So if you are firing premium in the T92, you are burning money. It is an abysmal credit maker for that reason. Because if you ever have to fire premium, and law of averages, 189 millimeters of pen, you're probably going to have to fire a lot of premium. You're going to burn through money. It's a terrible credit maker. Anyhow, we are being subtle right now. Are we going to double bush? Yes, indeed. Okay, good knowledge of bush mechanics. We are reversing 15 meters away from the bush. Didn't take the track shot there. Waited for the penning shot. Good stuff. We're loading HE, 38 millimeters of pen. It's risky, even on a Scorpion, but might well be able to pick up a kill. Does get the track shot there. Good knowledge of bush mechanics. If you can reverse 15 meters away from foliage, then the bush does not lose camo when you fire. If you fire within 15 meters of foliage, then all foliage within 15 meters of where you fired will lose 70% of its original camo rating. Oh, stewarded blind there. I would have made that blind fire too. So yeah, it will only provide you 30% of its former camo. Now, this is an interesting situation. I applaud sitting around here waiting for the kill secure on the Scorpion. You probably will get it. But I reckon with 400 meters of base view range, you can counterplay the E25. Your teammate is being zerged somewhat by a Barask, and he does go down. The enemy, as we established at the start of the game, does not have counter to you in terms of the combination of camo and view range. The best that they represent is the Barask in terms of a counter to this tank. or to what your vehicle represents. So you can certainly be cheeky up on the north of Oh my word, I did not realize that the enemy team had a squall. How did I not see that? Okay, I've been talking bollocks for a long time, it would seem. But squall, not great cannonading, very large tank. And let's check the view range on the squall. Clearly I need to learn more things before I do commentary on games, but I don't believe it's that like 380, isn't it? Yeah, 380, 20 meters less base view range than the T92 here. However, looking at that camo, that's really good base camo. We can probably stack that up to over 50. Oh, wow, it still had the stuff. Wait, no, it didn't. Hang on, I gotta refresh. It's being weird. It's probably gonna go up to over 80 base camo, I would expect. Let's see. 80? What am I saying? Over 50 base camo if you stack it. Let's see. Stealth exhaust. Let's do the thing. Vents. And let's get a cannon directive as well. If anyone was curious, natural cover gives you more camo than exhaust insulation. So, yeah. 51% camo. So believe it or not, the Squall can actually get very similar camo values to the T92. The T92 will give you that 50% camo if you stack it for that particular job, and both of these vehicles can use a CVS. I believe what I was thinking about when I was comparing them was comparing it to the Blishk, which I believe has, wow, the same camo, really? Okay, I'm just talking complete bollocks then. Underestimating check light tank in the camo department. Wow, the Blishk cross-spotted, maybe? I'm not sure. Knows he can get away before the T-34 reloads. This guy certainly knows what he's doing. There's been a lot of small decisions that I kind of applaud. But yeah, I'd be looking to go out to sort of D2 right now. Use those bushes to try and get maybe a kill secure on the T-34-3. We are loading HE here. I'm really not sure about the wisdom of that. 38mm a pen, even against an AMX. Like, you take HE for the kill secures and the cap resets in this tank. Not for penning stuff. I mean, maybe you plow it into a grill, like a Waffenträger or something like that, but even then. Wow, that AMX came in with one shell left, huh? We are falling back, and we're going to use the Golwicker as a multi-level engagement here. Good stuff. Chile's an easy kill pickup as he moves over the open there. Oh, do we get down? T-34's 5. Poke up and try and pick up the Chile. Probably what I would have done while the T-34 is reloading. That presents view range on the AMX as well. We shall see. This is what I wanted to suggest earlier, is trying to get the pickup on the T-34-3 from this position. Now, APCR is the choice here, just for the shell travel time, if nothing else. And the kill does come through. Chile pokes up on the left side. Very lucky not to get taken out by the autoloader there. Now, at this point, we need to represent vision on the JK line to some extent. So most likely heading back there, trying to provide view range of some description for our Golwicker is the way to go. Although the Golwicker is coming towards us, so that becomes less of a priority to overextend all the way out to JK now. So representing vision here is just fine. That Squall is a massive priority. He is 15 meters behind that bush, but we hold the shot. Okay, lovely. And we got 39 seconds on the cap. Come on. Cap. 39 seconds. Now, one of the... we can't afford to go wide. You're not making it in 30 seconds if you go wide, my dude. You're gonna go. Okay, so... what I was gonna say is the top speed of the T92 actually leaves a little to be desired. Well, that contradictoriness might have just gone down just in time, and yes, it does. Come on, you weren't spotted yet. CVS doing you favors. Okay, we do get the reset. Duck in to the right. Lovely stuff. Overextending there. Whoa. What do you think? That looks a fucking mountain? Why are we going so far late? My word, poor judgment on that part. Okay, right, and now we're baiting. We believe we're unspotted at this point. But, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We were spotted in that exact location, so... really quite poor play to be shooting from there. I certainly would have ducked down and stealthed up again. Now, we'll have to see if the team can win this. Poor play at the end there with positional play on this lock. Maybe it overestimated how far it extended, and also poor play by not just resetting the engage and engaging from the same angle that you were literally spotted getting into. You need to get it in your head that you must count. When you've been spotted, you've got to count to 10. Right? Count to 10. Okay, let's move swiftly on, shall we? Now, it's certainly feasible that our team can win this. I'd argue that they are favoured, depending on the skill level of the Banask. Banask has 158 on the elite level, so certainly experienced in the tank, and can right now... Oh, E25 has completely isolated himself from his support. The theory goes right now that the T-34 is still in the mid. You don't isolate when there's only two of you left. You go together in mutually supported positions. Unless the T-34 is there right behind him, this is really poor play by the E-25. And honestly, he can't have support, because if he does, then they just counterplay. They are outnumbered. Like, so, yeah, T-34 is still in the middle. Abysmal play by the E-25. Why didn't he just go up to the mid? Close to the T-34 and represent vision for him. Like, I do not understand that gameplay by the E-25. He seems to be playing well for the most part of the game, but then just isolated in endgames. Like, endgames seem to be a really difficult thing for a lot of players, and they really shouldn't be. It just comes back down to basic positional fundamentals and principles. And they are helpful at any stage of the game, not just the end game. Right? So if you nail down your end games, you are good at other stages of the game as well, naturally. Right, so I am tempted by sort of 55%, somewhere around there. However, there's some elements of this gameplay that want to go lower. And, you know, occasionally people just make mistakes in positioning. I made one myself yesterday on stream where I just reversed too fast, stuck my ass out of the bush and got my ass kicked. It does happen. So I've got to allow for a certain amount of abnormalities just by natural gameplay tendencies. But the positioning at the end, the sticking to the ridge line, I mean, there's 30 seconds on the cap. Not going straight to it was very odd, unless he was actively trying to avoid viewing from the center. But that end gameplay seems very mediocre in terms of, like, letting yourself get killed there is... I mean, yes, you did get killed by a blind fire, to be clear, but you allowed that blind fire to happen. You were double bushing, though, so I think 55 is fair, maybe 54.6, somewhere around there. I'll note down my estimate, and I will get back to you with a stat. Okay, so my estimate here is 54.75 and 1,892 WN8. There are elements of this gameplay that make me want to go higher, like the double bushing, the knowledge of reload, the positioning, and the advancing in stages as the game state changed. Like, those are things that are representative of rather high-level gameplay. There were mistakes towards the end game that could be coincidental, and it could be a better player, but we'll see. We shall see. Come on, get... Wow! Wow. That is a big surprise. That is very good gameplay for a 50% player, 47% overall. That is very, very good. Would I ever have known that it was a 50% player? I mean, there were a couple of things that I suggested that should have been done earlier, but honestly, a light tank staying alive to the end game is what you should be targeting when you're sort of 47%, because most people, when they're at this sort of level statistically, they're dying very early. So the fact that he was even alive in the state of the game that he was when it presents he's doing something like, so that is really surprising, and I owe this man 500 gold, so I'm gonna pay up right now, and in the meantime, I will say thank you very much to everyone for watching. Do check out the description for the next and previous episodes in this series. There will be a playlist appearing on the outro screen if you want to find all of them as well. And yeah, you can look in the description for details on how to submit to this series and guarantee that your replay is used if you do a paid one. So thank you very much, everyone, and fare thee well. Bye bye bye.
Humanity peaks at our community manager. He is mentally jacked and strengthening our backs just like the counterweight on the turret of the challenger. Cause if we find ourselves in a crappy mood, you will brighten our day just through your attitude. Steven and Peabody, badass crew. So please take the song as a token of my gratitude.